It's YouTube Wednesday. Boo Blaster. So the basis of this is a 12-volt drill. The horn will actually accept an 18-volt. But if you do that, then it's going to be amped up right away and you lose a lot of properties that make this work. So get a 12-volt. This is the cheapest kind they have at Harbor Freight. So there are a number of screws to take out. There's 4 right there, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 right there, and then there's 4 here that all need to come out of this gun. The next thing that I have to do is this piece is somehow integral. I need to break this off. So I'm going to use a special tool to get this metal piece off. That is a screwdriver and a healthy hammer. And now that casing is cracked, I'm going to hit the other side. Now that's cracked. It's some kind of an alloy. Very hard to get this apart with that intact. So I don't mess with it. Now I have these 2 plastic pieces, and that revealed 2 more screws right there. Now these 2 separate. I like to keep as much of this in orientation as I can because I don't want to mess it up. There's a little light here. This whole unit should lift right out. And then there's 2 little clips that hold this onto the motor. Okay, I cut the wires. This whole assembly, I don't need it. That's a motor and a gearbox and a chuck. So you can use that for something down the road. Whatever. Don't need it for this build. I pull out this yellow piece, which is your reverse. I don't use that. Now I'm going to move on to my next component. The Ooga air horn. You can get these for anywhere between $10 and $20. I'm going to take this piece, I'm going to put these 2 back together with these 2 wires sticking out of the back end. I'm making sure everything else is in place as I put those 2 together, and I'm just going to put the screws back in. These 4 screws, 1, 2, 3, 4. And there is 1 screw right here that I'm going to put back in. What I have now is a triggerable 12-volt device. It's triggerable because I have a trigger on it. And that's a good thing. I have a 12-volt device that I can... 12-volt battery goes right in here. Whatever these wires go to, that is 12 volts, this will work. So I'm going to modify this casing a little bit more in order to hold this Ooga horn better. I now have a holder for my Ooga horn. Look at that right there. And I'll be able to zip tie this guy on through that little hole right there. See that little hole that my finger's moving behind? That's where the zip tie goes, kids. In the Ooga horn, it comes with these 2 extra wire leads that I'm going to attach to these 2 wires. full disclosure, I have made a ton of these. So many. I came up with this way of doing it in 2011, maybe 2012. Quick 10 seconds. I just want to thank all of my patrons on Patreon. You guys are awesome. I appreciate your support for helping me make these videos. So I now have a triggerable, carryable car horn. I'm going to use a soldering iron to melt another hole in here that I can use to zip tie this on. See how clean those are, kinda-ish? Now my hot glue gun is hot. I'm going to insert my twisted wire into the hot glue gun tip. I'm going to recover that in thermoplastic. Electrical tape these wires together, and also I'm going to tape that connection so it's folded, so there's very little stress on that connection area. And I still have enough room to be able to plug in, and that's what I need to do on this side. I have some good size zip ties. I'm gonna put that through here. Okay, I'm gonna seat this right here. And now that is as close as I can get this to there. So I cut those off, and now I'm going to melt these ends down because they can be sharp. So this is I'm here, I'm solid. If all you want's a noisemaker, well, there you are. I can bundle these wires right back up in here. Put this back cap back on right like that. There we go. So this is in itself the hand blaster. Like, this is a worthy YouTube Wednesday right here. We can take this a step further and make it into a chainsaw because I made it with a 12 volt gun instead of with a 18 volt or 20 volt. I have variable control. And you don't get that with an 18 volt or 20 volt on this 12 volt motor. And listen. Doesn't that sound like a chainsaw and idle? That's believable. Like, to my ear, and I've heard a lot of chainsaws, that's pretty chainsaw-like. So, this is it. This is the prop. This is today's YouTube Wednesday. This is on. My wife is going to hate that I made another one of these. This is the product. Now, can you tape over this or do whatever you want to clean it? Absolutely. But it's pretty solid. I mean, it's on there well. It's got 2 solid zip ties on. You could add a 3rd zip tie if you wanted to. You can fill this area here with hot glue or epoxy. That's perfectly fine. But this is a blaster. This is a boo blaster, the way that I made them. If you want to see me turn it into a chainsaw, then go ahead and tell me in the comments if you want to see this boo blaster gun then get modified into a chainsaw, prop chainsaw, for maybe another 10-15 bucks. right, guys, enjoy your Boo Blaster and go make stuff. Variable speed. So there you go.